and of course my special guest.
I'm Pierre, my name is husband. I am local, I am Maltese, so and I'm here with the ladies today.
With the ladies, there's ladies.
I met them after work.
They're the ladies. Say hi, ladies. So back to you, Pierre.
I was working this morning and I came here and we're having a pleasant lunch and a pleasant drink together.
What is your first impression for Filipinos, not just working here in Malta, but in general?
My first impression with Filipinos was I met Filipinos the first time in Libya, and then after that I dealt with Filipinos in Libya and then in Dubai, you know, because I used to work there. And in Dubai, especially for nearly 21 years, my assistant was a Filipino man from Cebu. And immediately, you know, Filipinos and Southeast Asians, I won't just say Filipinos, have always struck me as people who, with their lots, make the most they can and are very happy people. You know, they're not so materialistic, you know, they're not shy to ask you, but they're not offended if you say no as well, you know. So on the whole, I fell in love with Filipinos, I think. In fact, that's why today I am married to a Filipina.
So you're not biased because you are married to a Filipina?
Well, I would be biased. I would be, of course, a bit biased.
No, we're not
yes.
just talking about it because you are
And
married.
especially as my wife is here, you know, you have to be careful how to talk about it.
Since you mentioned that you work with Filipinos as well, what's your opinion about Filipinos as an employee?
As employees, I find Filipinos very honest, hardworking, and reliable. You know. As a fellow employee, I've always liked working with them. You know, their English is good. It's a workable English, which is the advantage.
That means that you understood.
I understand, and they can make themselves understood. You know, like my own people. You know, it doesn't mean that they're good in English. You know, not all Filipinos are good in English, but they can understand and they can make themselves understood, which is what the important thing is. You know, which gives them an advantage over other Southeast Asians and over Chinese and so on, because not all of them can speak English or can communicate in English. You know, that's why most construction companies in the Middle East and North Africa, Filipino men are used as foremen, because at least they can communicate with the engineers and the architects and the people who are in charge. So yes, I've always liked working with Filipinos. I specifically, when I was in positions where I had employees with me, I specifically asked them, gave preference to Filipinos. You know, there are some things, of course, as a fellow employee, you know, I mean, which I have not against Filipinos, you know, not against Filipinos directly and generally, but against what are called in the working world third-party nationals, you know, which are Filipinos, Turks, Pakistanis, Nepalese, you know, these people who come from what are technically the poorer countries, you know, because it's the rich man who is profiting with them around the world, and around the world they're pushing wages and salaries down, you know. That's the only thing, as a Maltese worker, I have against them, you know. But I mean, it's not against Filipinos, you know.
It's in general.
Yes, it's in general, yes.
And since you're married to a Filipina, what do you like about our culture?
What I like in your culture is that the family is still very, very important, you know.
I think it's the same with the Maltese.
Not so much. It used to be, but not so much.
But a bit related, because Maltese, I can see that Maltese are also family-oriented.
We are. Traditionally, we used to be. But now we've become very, very materialistic, the Maltese, you know. I can see this happening in the Philippines as well. I can see it happening with younger Filipinos, especially, yes. But you know, I mean, you're still family-oriented, you know, and one thing I'll say about Filipino women, you know, is about my wife, and before my wife, I had a long-term Filipina girlfriend, you know.
So, you have how many Filipinas in relationship with?
3. Women, you are all the same, you know. But Filipinas and Asian women, but even Filipinas particularly, you know, you have a way of controlling your men, you know, with a smile and, you know, sort of, you still get us to do what you want, but you do it in a much gentler way.
Not in a very aggressive way.
That's it.
How did you meet she mentioned already in our vlog previously, how the love story, you know, of you two. So in your side, how was it, your love story started?
Honestly, this is my second marriage. But I always thought that if I get married again, I would marry a Filipina. I hope our stories coincide. But anyway, I got to become friends with Manel's auntie, who was the widow of a Maltese man. Because originally her lawyer my lawyer had put me in contact with Manel's auntie to help me bring my Filipino girlfriend here. Things happened and I broke up with this Filipino girlfriend. That was a bit down, and this Filipino woman who used to be married, who's Manel's aunt, invited me to this party in a flat in Slima, where she told me, there's a lot of Filipino women.
To choose, mini, mo.
Actually, I think I told you that she asked me over to meet one particular woman, which was you.
So there's a twist of the story.
But you did not turn up. And in the middle of the party, when there were these 3 or 4 women giving me a lot of attention, sort of, this little girl walks in, late, yeah, and she changes into her pajamas, and she hardly says hello to me. And I said, she is so cute, so attractive, how am I going to talk to her? And after a couple of hours, I'm looking at her across the room, sort of. She excused herself and said, I'm tired and I'm going to go to sleep. So I shouted across the room and I told her, Manel, do you have Facebook? Can I add you on Facebook,
So that's the thing.
And she said yes. And the rest is history. I asked her out the first time. I met her in a shopping mall in Slim. I asked her out and then we started going out together. Today we're married. I think Filipino women are great cooks, are great lovers.
I do.
Are great lovers. They dedicate themselves completely to their men. But also the downside of that is that they love drama and they're insane.
What kind of drama are you talking about?
All kinds of drama, from little things like, sort of, how was your day? Oh, it was so tiring. Their days are always tiring, to the fact that they are insanely jealous, Let me tell you a story about Manel. I bought a Chinese mobile phone. This is a Xiaomi phone, her photo is there, you see. But when I got this phone, I activated my account with Xiaomi. So they sent an email back. And Manel knew that I had a past of Chinese girlfriend, And she was looking through my phone and she saw this email this SMS from Xiaomi. And she angrily came and slammed the mobile on my bed and said, who is this Xiaomi? Who is this Chinese woman who is sending you SMSs, I told her it's the company of the phone, You remember?
So she's jealous for someone
Exactly.
That's love, I think. It's being possessive.
It is. But I was saying, I think at my age I've learned to control it, I mean, I'm 57, she's 31, so there's a big gap, so.
What was your first impression when you went for holiday in Philippines?
Well, my first impression, like most people, was Manila, And
because Philippines is quite a huge country.
and it's what happened. And it's a living, vibrant city, yes. But there's a lot of beautiful and there's a lot of ugly things.
Yes, you can tell us whatever. You can tell to them what is.
For my taste, it's a bit too ugly, bit too big. I mean, a bit too noisy. Too many people.
You're talking about Manila itself.
Manila itself, yes.
But you haven't been to other places
Very
like
few.
countryside.
Very few places, yeah.
Been to Somalia.
The beaches and the countryside is beautiful,
So if you compare Manila and the countryside, you could say that it's totally different.
Yes. I want to move. I would live any day in the countryside or on the beach in the Philippines. But I don't think I'd live in Manila.
No,
But
it's
then
so
again,
crowded.
it's so crowded. And one thing which made me cry is the street children in Manila. It's very sad.
You always have this picture. You're passing the street and you're seeing not just a children but a family.
Yes, the whole family.
It shows poverty as well, the other side of
It is poverty, but more it's a problem of urbanization, People leave their fields, leave their villages thinking they're going to the city and become rich. And there's not enough work and they're being abused of in the city and so on, It's not only happening in the Philippines, it's happening in a lot of countries.
as well. So there's no exemption because this applies to all countries as well. So what food would you like about
I think the food I like best is the famous adobo. I love adobo, you know, because I'm a big rice eater. So I love adobo with rice, you know.
So I thought you like more pasta.
Well, I like pasta, but then when I'm eating Filipino food, I like it as well.
So you like Asian cuisine?
I'm a pasta eater. I like my Mediterranean food, but I like
Yes.
adobo. I like sinigang, you know, a lot.
So how many dishes now Filipino food that she cooks with?
I think we ate about, how many the Filipino food did you cook? 7, 8, probably.
Which one is your favorite?
Adobo.
Adobo. The
For
Filipino
sure it's adobo, for sure it's
The
adobo.
signature Filipino dish, adobo.
One thing I could never, and hopia I like.
What is
And
hopia? To let the other people know, what is hopia?
hopia is the bread, eh? It's the fresh sweet bread, yes, very fresh, very sweet. I like hopia and I like the hopia, the purple hopia, what's it called? Ube. The purple yam, the hopia with purple yam. No. Another thing I like is the street food. I like the street food.
Oh, wow,
In
interesting.
the Philippines a lot. The only thing I can never bring myself to eat, and I will never bring myself to eat, is balut.
Which is a very famous street food in the Philippines. Why is it? Because it looks disgusting or because of the taste? Have you tried?
Once you described balut to me, you know, you told me, no, it's nice.
I told you all.
Because it tickles you when you're eating it. And I can't, because the feathers tickle you while you're swallowing. And I cannot imagine eating something that will tickle me while I swallow it. I like the chicken insides, you know, the chicken insides we have.
Intestine?
Chicken intestines, yes.
How is it, grilled or fried? Usually you find it grilled or fried.
No, we found the fried, but we've also had the barbecue. There, we had the and the squid there. And the squid balls, but also the squid parts, barbecued squid. Those were nice again. I like leche flan a lot.
That's
as well.
it's like a cream caramel over here.
Yeah.
The other.
Quail eggs. You like quail eggs?
Quail eggs, I like quail eggs, yes. You know, I like a lot, you know. I have no problem with eating most food, you know, but I mean, I'm not a
try.
fussy eater.
Yes, it's easy to please.
The only thing I don't eat is seafood and balut.
Plans in the future to settle down.
Yes, I wish to retire in the Philippines and with my wife, I hope. I mean, if she puts up with me, you know. We wish to retire in the Philippines, you know. I mean, not in Manila, of course, outside Manila. For various reasons. First of all, because I like the Philippines.
You fell in love
I fell in love with the Philippines. I fell in love with the people, you know. But also for practical reasons, you know. Money goes further in the Philippines than here in Malta, you know.
The cost of living compared here is
Cost of living is
definitely-
very low, you know.
Yes.
So your pension will go much further, you know. And Filipino people are very welcoming, and they're not so. I mean, you know, the Thai, the Cambodians, the Vietnamese are all very nice people, you know. But I think there's that common culture, you know. Philippines has this Judeo-Christian culture because they're Catholic, you know. So they're more similar to us, you know.
So you think about living in Malta, what is the difference now? Malta 10 years ago, or in your experience? How will you compare Malta, your country?
I think Malta, you know, I mean, has obviously, I mean, some people call it progress and modernism, but we've lost a lot of our values, you know. Before the family was very important for us, now it's not. Before we were not so materialistic, now people are very materialistic, you know. In fact, for example, it's very difficult to find Maltese workers, low-grade workers, you know. Because Maltese will not work nowadays, you know. I mean, most of them have a property, either they bought a property or inherited a property, and rents have gone up so much that nowadays you cannot even compare rents with salaries, you know. So some Maltese, you know, they inherited an apartment from their parents, and that's enough for them, you know. They've got enough to live on through that. But yes, Malta changed a lot, you know. I mean, especially Malta in fact has the highest soil ceiling in Europe. You know what soil ceiling is? No. Soil ceiling is when the amount of the country is built up. That means the soil is sealed under cement or under building, you know.
Yeah, I guess.
The average in the rest of Europe is 5%. In Malta it's 26%, you know.
Not much.
Yes, that's it. Malta has seen so much loss of trees, you know, and that's why the temperatures have gone up, because the trees keep a place cool. I can only say I'm very happy. Very happy.
I can
I think she's a blessing from God for me, you know, and you know, and not perfect, you know, nothing is perfect.
No,
and she is
the
not
word
perfect.
perfect doesn't exist.
No, that's it. And she's human like me, you know. I'm sure I'm not perfect either, you know, but I mean,
You're working hard for the relationship to grow.
and I think Filipinos at least believe in the family, and they work hard for the relationship. And before when I was with my other wife, I used to, there were times when I felt I was the only one working for our relationship, you know.
And it's not healthy.
I don't feel like it, you know.
Because even if how much effort you put on
That's it.
that relationship,
If it's one-sided, you're tired. That's it. That's it.
yes, you're tired. Because then it will be exhausting. It's one to one. So at least I'm glad, I'm happy to have you today, of course, to have you to hear all the honest opinion about Filipinos, about anything that I've asked you, about Manel, anything. So thank you so much, Pierre, and thank you to my viewers always. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
And see you on my next